Recording for me. You got me? You got me too? Give me somebody give me from that angle and then from this angle, okay? All right, good deal. Good deal.
Might have to step out early. I'm gonna be up for a bit.
That's fine.
But I'll get there to get it.
That's okay. That's cool. No problem. All right. Okay, well, yay! Awesome. I'm gonna stand up while I'm talking. So first let me introduce myself. Hi, come on in. A lot of you all know me as Miss Missy. I am one of the 3 awesome housekeepers of this house here, okay? We have the best sorority on campus. Alpha Phi Girls Rock, right? Yes. Awesome, yes. So like I said, you guys know me as Miss Missy. My legal name, though, is Melissa Wilson. And Melissa Wilson is a certified life empowerment coach, personal development coach, whatever you want to call it. As a matter of fact, my certificate came today. Yay, yeah. I know, isn't that awesome? Yes. So I'm also taking a continuing education class in public speaking, and I'm going to incorporate that with my coaching and just all of that together. I also have an organization that's called Shattered But Not Broken. And Shattered But Not Broken started off being my organization where I talked about my life dealing with domestic violence. Yes, so I'm a domestic violence survivor. Yes. So I'm awesome. I'm really glad that part of my life is over. But yeah, so what I do with Shattered But Not Broken now, I've kind of changed it a little bit. It's not just about domestic violence. It's about anything that you dealt with and you got over and you became the victor. Okay, so that's how we do Shattered But Not Broken. All right, so another job that I have, which is my favorite job in the whole wide world, is I get to be mom to this here adorable 14-year-old. That's my rock. She's my everything. She is the reason why I'm on this campaign to discuss depression and suicide. 3 years ago, my daughter, she lost her dad to pancreatic cancer. And the year before that, she lost one of her brothers to cancer. And so, she had a really rough time. I just kind of figured, you know what? She's grieving. She's sad. Not really worried about it. She'll snap out of it. I kind of let her do her thing. And so back here about a year ago, I got a phone call that no parent wants to get, and it was the school notifying me that my daughter said that she wanted to commit suicide. And so it just crushed me because I was like, how? What do you mean she wants to commit suicide? She's just sad. She's going to be okay. But no, that wasn't the case. We think that depression is just being sad and people can get over it just like that. But that's not true. That's not true at all. And I always say, just imagine how you feel. You get up in the morning and your back hurts and you say, you know what, I don't want to get out of bed because my back hurts. And that's acceptable, right? People are like, oh, okay, stay home, get some rest, or you need to go to the doctor, or can I help you with something? They accept that. But when you say, I don't want to get out the bed because I just don't feel good. I don't feel like getting out of the bed. And people say, oh, come on, get on out of the bed. Get yourself on up. Shake it off. You're going to be okay. No, that's not the case. It's really not. And so going through this with my daughter, I learned a lot. I started doing a lot of research. And she's okay, right? You're okay. Because I did tell her that I was going to share. And this is her. You have to understand this is who she is. So, yeah, this is who she is. Yeah. And so I started doing a lot of research on depression and suicide because they kind of work hand in hand. And what I realized that depression is not just being sad. It's not just something that you get over. It's really, really serious. And most of the time, people who are depressed, especially if they're depressed for a long period of time, it usually leads up to suicidal tendencies, thoughts, or actual suicide. if you all been paying attention to the news, you've been seeing all the stuff that's been happening at the schools and different things like that. 9 times out of 10, those people started off just being depressed, and it didn't get treated. So untreated depression will turn into, like I said, things like that, suicidal or taking it out on people, especially if you were bullied or, something of that nature. And so my thing is, what I've been doing is I've just been looking at the news, and I've been researching, and I'm like, wow, it's just so much out there that we don't know about depression, and we don't know about suicide, but nobody talks about it. It's like it gets swept under the rug, somebody's depressed. Oh, well, they've been that way forever. Okay, why? Why have they been that way forever? Somebody needs to do something, and see what's going on with that person, because that's what depression is. It's when your life changes, you just feel like you're not happy anymore, you have no value, you don't even want to get out of bed, some don't even want to take a bath, they don't want to eat, that's serious. That's serious. It's nothing that we should just sweep under the rug and say, well, they'll be okay, because it's not. And especially with suicide being the second leading killer of middle school children, which my daughter's in middle school. It's the second leading killer middle school children. It's the first leading in college students. Did you all know that? Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's so serious. So I just wanted to kind of share with you all just some things, that you may not have known. Depression is common, and it's a serious illness. It's actually an illness. It's something that you need to go to the doctor and get checked out, see your doctor. They probably recommend medicine and a psychiatrist or what is it? I think it's called psychotherapy, which is talk therapy, things like that. It's a whole lot that comes along with it. I'm learning this because this is what I have to go through with my daughter. We see these different people, and then there's different medications, and then not all the time the medicine works, And so it's almost like you become this guinea pig, because they'll put you on 2 or 3 things, and you go back in a month, and if you're feeling the same, they say, oh, okay, well, let's try we're going to take you off of this, and we're going to put you on that, until they find out what's working. But in the midst of them finding out what will work, the person is still depressed. They're still sad. They're still having those thoughts, whether it be suicidal thoughts or just thoughts of, I'm not worth it. Nobody cares about me. And that's usually what they think, and that's a part of the illness. So I think people need to understand that depression is not something. It's really an illness. It's really something that needs to be looked into. You may have friends or family members, that could possibly be going through depression. And you need to know the warning signs, Anytime they're isolated, or they don't want to eat anymore, or, they're not doing the things that they once enjoyed in life. Something's wrong. That's a red flag. Anytime it leads to them doing something like that for 2 weeks or more, that's a problem. Now, quite naturally, we're going to be sad. We are. We're going to have our days when we're sad, or, things that make us sad, the death of a loved one, break up with your boo, your bae, you're going to be sad. But if you're still sad about that after 2 weeks, something's wrong. It's time to get some help. And it's time for, if your friends notice it, it's time for your friends to tell somebody. I am so grateful to my support team, my daughter's friends, because when the red flag raises, they tell their parents, and the parents call me, and it's like, hey, Maya's acting a little different today. Think you might need to check into it, And so I appreciate that, and that's where it needs to be. You need to let somebody know. If you got a friend that's going through this. Now, a couple of the warning signs is, one, if they're talking about suicide, that there's something wrong. And you guys wouldn't believe this. I'm telling you. Among middle school, and that's, 6th, 7th, 8th grade? 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Do you all know that that's like the topic of their conversation? Suicide? It's like the norm for them to discuss suicide. Just like we sitting up here discussing shoes. That I just want to kill myself. And it's not just my child. It's so many of them out there. It's like 60% of middle school children discuss suicide. That's a lot. That's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They shouldn't even be concerned about trying to kill themselves. They're just beginning to live. So that means something's wrong. Something we're not doing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, this is just me personally, when you have someone that commits suicide, we had some people, I don't know if the young man went here or he had gone here before. I think back here last year, was it that he was a student that committed suicide? Something's wrong. We failed him. We did. The university, we as a University of Mississippi, we failed him. Where he lived, they failed him. Because you don't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to kill myself. No, this is something that's gone on. You've thought about it. Like I said, usually the pattern of depression starts first. And once you just keep on getting off into that, then later on you start thinking. You I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to hurt myself. A lot of times what these young middle school kids are doing, they're doing self-harm. So cutting is the new thing. They cut themselves. And you know why? Said it makes them feel better. Yep. Bye, girls. Thank you. Said it makes them feel better. Can you imagine? I mean, I've cut myself before, and I don't remember feeling good at all.
It doesn't make you feel better.
It doesn't make you feel better? What does it make you feel?
It makes you feel something.
It makes you feel something? What do you feel, though? What is the something that you feel?
It lets you know that you're not numb. It lets you know that you can feel pain or something like that.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? Lets you know that you're not numb. So being depressed most of the time makes you feel numb. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes you feel numb. So to cut yourself lets you know that, hey, I'm still here. But, I need to cut myself to know that I'm still here, to feel something. That's serious. And these are middle school kids. So by the time they get to high school, that 60% that was middle school, by the time they get to high school, guess what? It's 70%. By the time they make it where you guys are at college, it's 75%. I'm pretty sure some of you all know people who battle with depression. Maybe some friends, maybe somebody in your family, but you need to reach out to them. Don't be afraid, or if it's you, let somebody know. Because you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't feel like I'm anything. And I need to let somebody know. Because guess what? Maybe somebody can help you. A lot of times with depression, they really emphasize talk therapy. And, it's hard. But you know what? It can be done. I tell my daughter all the time, I'm always telling her, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. And sometimes she receives it and sometimes she don't. But you know what? Who she does believe before she believes me? She believes her peers. If they say you're ugly, that's what she's going to believe. No matter if I tell her she's beautiful 1,000 times a day. But I still have to keep doing it. I still have to keep doing it. And I have to keep showing her and letting her know that you matter. Your life matters. I don't want you to be gone. I know that you're having a bad day. I know that to you, the world sucks. But you know what? It's going to get better. It is going to get better. So we have a huge support team. It's, family and then friends and, just different doctors and pastors and things like that, we talk to, we get together. Because I'm telling you, we're losing too many kids. We're losing so many of our kids. We're losing our young adults. Most of the time, I just seen on the news, I think there was a man, he killed his wife and his children, and he killed himself. And guess what? He said, well, he had mental illness going on. Every time you turn around, everybody that does stuff like that, what is the one thing they say? Mental illness. Okay, so